Look around you. The wealth, the luxury, the physical materials you touch every single day. What if I told you that the very atoms making up the gold on your wrist hold the exact same power as the infinite, boundless cosmos? Modern science speaks of electrons and neutrons. But ancient wisdom whispers of supreme forces, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, hiding within that exact microscopic void. We've witnessed the terrifying destruction when humanity forcibly splits this atom. But what miracles occur when we harmonize it? Think of a tiny seed, buried in absolute darkness, using the universe's void to crack open and sprout life. Think of the Great Pyramids, capturing cosmic waves to freeze time itself. And think of the miracle of life, gathering entirely around a single spark of consciousness in a mother's womb. Now, look inward. A far greater mystery slumbers within you right now. A dormant seed of pure consciousness. If you learn to breathe into the emptiness, if you can guide that subtle, electrical current up your spine, past your third eye, all the way to your crown, you won't just witness the universe. You will become it. Welcome to the ultimate truth, the mysterious energy of material and consciousness.
Today's topic is indeed a mysterious one. It is mysterious energy of matter and consciousness. Matter itself is an energy, and consciousness is also an energy. The question you just asked is directly related to this. Our consciousness resides within us, while our outer life is our material life, and both share a very deep connection. So, first of all, let us try to understand material energy. We live in this physical world, and we are surrounded entirely by material energy. Everything that makes up our material world is simply a form of this energy. It is because of this material power that we are able to live a life of great luxury. We possess all kinds of luxurious items and enjoy every type of convenience in our lives. Wealth is one of the greatest forms of this material energy. With it, you can acquire anything physical in this world. You can build large houses, stay in nice hotels, and make your material life highly comfortable and luxurious. But let us try to delve a little deeper. Whatever physical substances you have, whatever material you possess, whether it is gold, silver, copper, objects made of iron, or any other material, if you divide it into smaller parts, you will get molecules. If you divide those into even smaller parts, you will reach the atom. Now, if you look inside the atom, you will find electrons, positrons, and neutrons. The energy of every substance may be different, but their fundamental structure is always made up of atoms. So, every atom primarily consists of electrons, positrons, and neutrons. If you explore this from a deeper spiritual perspective, the neutron does not carry any positive or negative charge. It is completely chargeless. It is a void state. It represents the form of Brahma, the Creator, and it is within this zero, this void, that all creativity takes place. Thus, the Lord has deeply embedded the vast potential for creativity within the atom itself. Secondly, it contains positrons. The positron represents the power of Lord Vishnu. It sustains the atom. To put it another way, just as Lord Vishnu sustains us, provides us with nourishment, and takes care of us, which is why we worship him. Therefore, the positron is the positive energy that holds the atom together and maintains its form. Thirdly, it contains electrons. Electrons are constantly revolving. They revolve in one orbit or another, and they also change their orbits. Science has proven all of this. And as soon as they change their orbit, an entirely different substance is formed. This is all science. Thus, every material is made of atoms, and within them reside Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. The electrons represent the power of Mahesh, the power of transformation. So, if you try to understand this deeply, all the physical materials we possess are ultimately nothing but the power of the Lord. It is through this divine power that we live our lives joyfully, we make use of these materials, and in every form, we use this very power for our own upliftment. You would be surprised to know that if the electrons, positrons, and neutrons within an atom are separated, a tremendous amount of energy is released. A tiny atom, which we cannot even see with our naked eyes, is what forms the basis of an atomic bomb. There are scientific methods used to split the atom, releasing so much atomic energy that it can even trigger earthquakes. It was this very energy that caused the absolute destruction of two major Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It released so much radiation that even today, people are suffering and facing its harsh consequences. So, when these forces of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh remain together in perfect balance, they bring us joy and elevate our lives. However, if we try to separate these great powers, something humanity has unfortunately already done, you understand and know exactly how much destruction it can cause. Therefore, it is wise to use this physical, material power we possess in a harmonious and constructive manner. If we fail to use it righteously, it can prove to be highly lethal and fatal for us. Because it is a supreme power, it has the potential to be used both for the ultimate upliftment of humanity and for its complete destruction. So, this is its material aspect. All the comforts and conveniences we enjoy in this world exist entirely due to the harmony of this energy. We are able to lead a calm and peaceful life in this physical world by coexisting with material objects and utilizing them in a proper, balanced way. However, every physical object contains electrons that are constantly in motion. After a certain period of time, you will notice that objects made of matter either change their form or begin to degrade. This happens because the electrons within their atoms eventually deviate from their natural paths. When that occurs, we simply replace that material with a new one. This is the reason you see that every material object has a predetermined lifespan. But that lifespan can be quite long if we use the object in a controlled and mindful manner. So, this is the profound mystery of material energy, through which we are able to live so luxuriously and comfortably in this world. Now, we come to the mystery of consciousness. Material energy assists us only outwardly, in our external life. However, the energy of our consciousness makes us strong from within. It awakens divine qualities inside us. By divine qualities, I mean it cultivates patience, truthfulness, and compassion within us. The ability to hold good intentions and kind feelings towards others, all of this is purely because of consciousness. Now, the question arises, where does this consciousness come from? This is a very profound question. Consciousness flows into an individual from the cosmos. This universe is so incredibly vast, and consciousness comes from there. But now, another question should arise in your mind. Where does consciousness come from within the universe itself? This, indeed, is a deeply mysterious question. If you reflect even a little upon the universe, you will see that it contains planets, stars, and asteroids. After all, everything there is also made of matter. Whether you travel to the Moon, Mars, or Jupiter, at their core, they are all composed of physical matter. Now, these massive material bodies hold immense energy, as they too are entirely made up of atoms. They are essentially atoms and molecules, and within them, too, there is a continuous flow of electrons. When any physical matter exists for an incredibly long period, for thousands of years, much like our planets and stars, the energy within them, which exists in an electronic form, slowly begins to radiate outward as life energy over thousands and millions of years. This is a deeply profound concept. This very energy flows out into the vacuum, into outer space. Because of this continuous movement of electrons, a deeply peaceful sound is produced throughout the cosmos, which we know as the Anahat Naad, the eternal melody. In the absolute stillness of the night, if your mind becomes entirely free of thoughts, you can actually hear this divine sound. So, this Anahat Naad or the eternal melody resonates throughout the vast emptiness of the universe. This is the divine sound of Om, and this is the vital energy of the cosmos. Its primary source, too, lies deep within matter itself. However, it takes millions and billions of years for it to finally radiate outward. How does this happen? This is a deeply mysterious concept. Think about when you plant a seed in the soil. It is surrounded by moisture and darkness because it is buried deep inside the earth. When the seed cracks open to sprout, the inner void or emptiness of the seed merges with the outer cosmic void, and that is how germination takes place. Therefore, all our trees, plants, and crops grow solely because of this universal cosmic power. This cosmic energy is present everywhere around us. It is also deeply embedded inside our earth. It is because of this very energy that gold, silver, and numerous other minerals like copper are formed in the deep darkness of the earth. Thus, their creation and development happen only through the union of that deep inner darkness with the power and consciousness of the universe. For instance, when a pyramid is built, its structure is designed in such a way that cosmic energy flows deeply into it. If you keep anything inside it, a substance that would normally spoil in today's outside will not spoil even after 10 days inside. This is a profound example of the power of consciousness. Within this consciousness too, reside the supreme powers of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. However, they are so beautifully integrated and harmonized that you cannot separate them, because this energy has emerged completely from matter in this exact, unified state. Similarly, it is only when consciousness enters the womb that a mother conceives. Around this consciousness, the essence and nourishment from the mother's food begins to gather. Now, what is this essence? It contains minerals like iron, zinc, chromium, and similar physical materials. They gather around the consciousness in a liquid form, which leads to the development of all the baby's organs. As the child grows and becomes fully developed over the course of 9 months, they enter this physical world. That is when birth takes place. To put it another way, as soon as the child enters this world, they take their first breath, and their consciousness becomes hidden deep within them. Just as the consciousness, or the soul, remains hidden inside all of us, while we simply continue to breathe. Now, consciousness resides within us in the form of a seed. Other living beings, such as animals and plants, do not have the ability to develop or expand their consciousness. As for the consciousness that enters the earth, it transforms into vast physical materials, as I mentioned earlier, like gold, silver, or oil, which we then extract. However, when consciousness enters a human being, it also begins purely in the form of a seed. If a person makes no effort to expand their consciousness, they will simply pass away after 60 or 70 years in the exact same state in which they were born. But if they choose to develop it, and this is the true essence of spiritual science, the awakening and expansion of consciousness, everything transforms. If a person continuously develops their consciousness, they can elevate it to such a profound level by the end of their life that their consciousness rises through the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra, and merges completely with the consciousness of the universe. When it unites with the universal consciousness, the individual begins to experience profound cosmic bliss and attains universal knowledge. This is exactly what we call self-realization. All of this beautiful journey is simply the evolution and expansion of consciousness. Now the question arises, since consciousness resides within you in the form of a seed, how can a person develop it? What should we do to awaken and expand this consciousness within ourselves? Fundamentally, within the human body, there resides consciousness, the heart, and the mind that continues to develop. Consciousness exists within human beings purely as a catalyst. It never interferes in any of a person's actions. However, without consciousness, a human being cannot perform any action at all. It is consciousness alone that provides a person with the energy and power to act. When a person thinks, it is consciousness that operates in the background. It is the soul, or what we call the witness, that is ever present. When you see the world, it is the power of consciousness, that very witness, standing behind your vision. Even if a person's physical eyes are perfectly fine, without the presence of this witness or the power of consciousness behind them, they would not be able to see a thing. Therefore, every single action and experience of a human being is possible solely because of consciousness. Consciousness holds immense power. When a child develops in a mother's womb, the entire growth happens around this very consciousness. Thus, consciousness resides in every single cell of the child, but it remains in a hidden or dormant state. In the exact same way, consciousness is present in every cell of our bodies as well, but it remains hidden. We do not usually feel or realize its presence. Now, how can this consciousness be expanded? This is the true science of spirituality. The only thing we have before us, or within our direct control, is the simple act of breathing. Other than that, there is nothing else we can consciously do within our internal system. We merely breathe. And even that breath, we are able to take only by the grace of the Supreme Lord. When the breath stops flowing, a person has to leave this physical body behind. Since consciousness is present in every cell of our being, if we manage to establish a state of emptiness within ourselves, what I mean to say is, if through the process of breathing, we completely exhale the breath out of our physical body, then we will begin to experience a profound emptiness inside us. The breath also flows through only a few specific energy channels or nadis. If we can create a sense of emptiness within these channels, which ultimately happens only by the grace of the Lord, whether we achieve this emptiness through the chanting of Om, through the medium of the breath, or through any other yogic practices, it is entirely possible. As soon as you bring this emptiness inside, the subtle, unseen power of consciousness present within our cells begins to merge into that emptiness. This happens because, in the vast universe, this divine power resides only within emptiness. So, the moment emptiness is established within our energy channels, the power of consciousness fully absorbs into it. And as soon as this power merges into the emptiness, just as it exists in the universe as the Anahat Naad or the eternal melody, we can begin to hear it as the Anahat Naad right here, within our own physical bodies. Furthermore, This divine sound can very easily transform into a subtle flow of energy, much like an electric current. Some individuals hear it as the eternal melody, while others may feel it as a gentle stream of electrical energy flowing gracefully through their spinal cord. This is the very manifestation of consciousness. When you continue to practice this for many years, whether through the practice of emptiness, Kriya Yoga, or the spiritual discipline of chanting Om, as I explained in detail during our previous satsang, you will begin to clearly feel this energy within your spine. This is truly the power of consciousness. As you experience this power more deeply and it continues to expand, this energy will ultimately come to rest in your Agya chakra or the third eye center. It will settle exactly between your two eyes. At that stage, the gaze of both your eyes will naturally converge and become perfectly still at a single point. You will experience this only when the power of consciousness has truly developed within you, and you will feel as though its energy is steadily increasing at that focal point. Gradually, this energy will naturally begin its upward journey entirely on its own. At this point, you do not have to do anything else. You simply need to bring this energy to the center between your eyes and let it be. In spiritual terms, this elevated state is also known as Kutastha Chaitanya or the unwavering, supreme consciousness. And after a few years of spiritual practice, by the grace of the Lord, this very power that emerged from your cells, this subtle energy which is now flowing like a continuous stream, will gradually rise to your Sahasrara chakra, the highest center at the crown of your head. When it reaches there and its concentration increases, meaning this energy becomes deeply dense and gathered, it will then begin its ultimate journey into the cosmos. This happens because the universe is filled with vast emptiness. Since this energy has grown so strong within you, that cosmic emptiness will naturally attract it, for everything flows into emptiness with great ease. Gradually, this power will move upward from your Sahasrara chakra, from your apex center, and transcend the limits of your physical body. Ultimately, this power of consciousness will reach the exact place from where it first originated. Meaning, it originated from the vast universe, it entered you during your time in the mother's womb. Now, because you have expanded it so profoundly through your practice, this individual energy will completely merge and become one with the supreme energy of the universe. Here, you will experience the state of Samadhi or state of ecstasy. This energy will spread throughout the entire universe. Since you are in a human form, after some time, when your body needs to breathe, the breath will naturally return to you. However, at the exact moment this energy merges with the cosmos, there will be no breath left inside you. You will be in a completely breathless state. Just as you are in a state of absolute emptiness or shunya, the power of the Supreme Lord is also void, and your breath too becomes entirely still. You may remain in this state for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or half an hour. How long you can stay in it depends entirely on the grace of the Lord. When the body eventually needs breath, this energy will automatically re-enter your physical body, flowing back down through the Sahasrara chakra. By then, your consciousness will have expanded so profoundly that you will not return as the exact same person you were before. You will be completely transformed. All kinds of positive qualities will blossom within you. Your patience will increase, your intellect will sharpen, and your spiritual experience will deepen. You will even begin to clearly and intuitively perceive what is going to happen around you. And when this energy resides in the universe, through this subtle, invisible energy, the very same power that allowed Lord Krishna to wield the Sudarshan chakra will awaken within you. All of this is the immense power of consciousness. Through this power of consciousness, you would even be able to manifest a Brahmastra, a supreme cosmic weapon. However, all of this will depend entirely on your spiritual evolution, on how much you have developed and expanded your inner self. You will gain the ability to manifest anything in the universe, and your being will be filled with absolute, pure consciousness. You will become completely free from all kinds of diseases. After all, this is the divine power of the Lord. It will contain the fully awakened energy of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Think about it, in physical matter, this power was dormant, yet splitting it could still cause such a massive explosion. Just imagine, you will hold this fully awakened cosmic power within yourself. With this awakened divine energy, you will become capable of achieving absolutely anything. This is truly a supreme and exalted spiritual state. If you succeed in experiencing this even once, you will be able to do it every single day. And every day, you will enter that supreme state and gracefully return from it. At that point, you become one with the universe. There will be absolutely no difference between you and the cosmos, because the exact same power that exists in the universe now resides within you. The universe holds infinite, immense power. Within you, that same power will exist in a slightly smaller measure, simply because your physical human body would not be able to bear or handle its full intensity. When you reach this stage, you will rise above the cycle of life and death. You will transcend all kinds of mental afflictions and worldly impurities. You will naturally attain the 9 siddhis, or divine spiritual powers. Whatever you simply think of will effortlessly manifest for you. However, upon reaching that exalted state, you will become completely desireless. You will not want anything at all, because you will have already tasted such an overwhelming amount of divine nectar. You will realize there is absolutely nothing greater left to desire. So, this is the ultimate, supreme state of consciousness. So, I have briefly explained to you where consciousness comes from and how you can expand it within yourself. The entire universe is, in fact, pure consciousness. Material pleasures have their limitations, but consciousness has no boundaries. It is completely limitless. Therefore, make a sincere effort and stay deeply connected with the Supreme Lord. As you do, your consciousness will expand, and you will begin to understand its true nature. However, you cannot fully comprehend the ultimate mystery of consciousness. You can only immerse yourself in it and experience its profound bliss. To completely understand something, one must rise above it, and a mere cell or our human existence cannot rise above the vastness of the Supreme. Therefore, let us remain deeply anchored in the Supreme Lord and enjoy His divine bliss. Let us rejoice in this pure consciousness, expand it as much as we possibly can, and rise above the bondage of life and death. This will be the greatest blessing and gift from the Lord to us. With sincere effort and by His divine grace, we can certainly attain this exalted state. So, in brief, this is what I wished to share with you all today. Thank you.